real dad donated. He had been out of their life since she was like 5 years old. And he came back and he gave his kidney to her. And that's the last I heard. I think it was a keeper, at least longer. So I guess I'm saying no, she shouldn't have, and then she doesn't make it and stuff. But you know what, folks? It sounds cold, but all of us end up dying, right? We all end up dying. What's this grand fear that you guys have out there of dying? It's all going to happen.
Yeah.
And the quest of life is to figure out the stuff between birth and death, the bigger things.
Yeah, I thought in the recent years, my fear of death, just being honest, I think I, was, squirming in fear. Just how you do that subconsciously in kind of the back of your mind, you have different thoughts and feelings. I think through a lot of my life, I was really afraid of death, but I think that's really, really eased maybe in the last 7 years since I started, becoming part of the 9/11 truth type thinking and the Patriot movement, which I was not. I was just a simple academic that was a little bit into conspiracy stuff, before that. But I don't know, it just feels really good to let go of that. I mean, when you really, a lot of people say, I'm not afraid of death. And I say, well, go walk in front of that car. And they'll say, no, that doesn't count. I say, well, if you're not afraid of it. But I'm not talking about that literal fear of death, but when it starts to ease, man, you sure do feel like a real person. When Crazy Horse said, it's a great day to die, he marched into the gunfire of the Bluecoats. You almost can kind of relate to that unbelievable freedom and religious passion that guy had, with his completely diminished fear of death. It's just, I don't know, that's a person who doesn't have this incredible need to live, becomes a true person in a lot of ways. What do you think about that?
A free person and a super person, and I lost my fear of death after I tried to commit suicide for the second time. It just yeah, and I wish everybody had it. I just lost it then, and I fear nothing. You can't even hardly get me to jump if you jumped out of the dark and yelled at me. Because I guess I just have already been there, done that, and there's just no fright left. But maybe it'd change, but it hasn't for 32 years or so. So there's a clip in that movie Apocalypto when the chief turns to his son and he tells him that fear is a virus and that it spreads throughout the community. Therefore, it was his role never to show it. I found that interesting, too.
Wow.
We're going to take a break and be right back. Yeah, Charlie just sent a message, and he says, Apocalypto, what a great movie. Yeah, and it really shows in that movie towards the end, folks, where, there's two kinds of people, those that are submissive to power and authority, when those ships pull into the bay, and those other natives just blindly go right out to them because they see him as superior. But the smart fella, yeah, he goes back into the forest and gets his family. But hey, Jeffrey, you mentioned a topic that I guess I might not be so familiar with, and that's non-existence. What do you got on that?
When did I mention that?
I thought it was earlier today.
I can't remember. I don't.
Okay.
Maybe I typed in something and it was a typo or something.
Yeah.
I've got a poetry film, a cine poem. Maybe you were thinking of I've got a poetry film, set of films that I've made that are just really poems called cine poems, and one is about non-existence. And what I say is in the film is that people don't actually exist. What only exists is poetry. And your body doesn't exist, your family doesn't exist. All these things are just actually a sort of song of creation, of poetry. So maybe that's what you were thinking of or something.
Yeah. Hey, I've got a caller I've got a caller. Let's go to him. It's Brian in Louisiana. How you doing, Brian? What do you got for us?
Hey, how you doing? Nice to talk to y'all. Listen, real quick, if I could revert back to last night, and I hate to get off topic, but how did you find those? What did you find the videos about the kids, the savants, and whatnot?
Oh, I went to YouTube, but you can go to my blog at bigjohnlipscomb.blogspot.com and just see the article there and click on or just paste and copy those into your search bar, and it'll take you right to YouTube to that specific documentary.
Okay. Hey, and a comment real quick about what y'all were talking about last night about y'all were kind of posing the question whether or not we're in a matrix.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of looked at it. It kind of hit me as just a thought, but it's kind of like, okay, for example, it's kind of like having nuclear power. You have a choice. You can either make clean energy or you can build a bomb and blow people up. You know, it may be that life and everything is a matrix, but you know, you can go that route, or maybe somebody could find out how to use it to their advantage or to your disadvantage. You see what I'm kind of getting at?
Yeah, I kind of do. That's an interesting thought.
That it may not be one or the other, but it's out there, and it's like, you know, you got the choice to follow it, like, you know, different paths.
Yeah.
Either the creator or some other thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. Hey, thanks for calling, Brian.
All right, thank you. Bye.
I tell you, Jeff, we really stirred the pot last night with last night's show.
Good.
Did you have any further thoughts on that kind of subject?
Yeah, I have lots of thoughts on that kind of stuff. It's really important for people to see this kind of thing because it just simply won't be brought out in the mass media much. Now, I know some of those videos were from the Discovery Channel, but it's important to note that the Discovery Channel will not put it in its proper philosophical context. They'll act like these are just crazy anomalies, and then almost, they'll bring forth the information in such a way that people will just think, just kind of ignore it because it's just, some special thing. No, they won't talk about how you can verify scientifically. The universities of the world were all about these studies before the big money took over, around the 20s and maybe a little bit after. But they were all about parapsychological research, and where you can verify this is in all of us. And so, so it's almost, the little white lie of the Discovery Channel or something. Thanks for bringing this stuff to our attention. But, you basically ruin it all with a little white lie. If you don't put it in its proper philosophical context, you distort everything. You make what's in everybody look like just a special little thing, but, some guy in Norway and a guy in Africa or whatever, so.
Yeah, I really agree. They present it as this two-headed calf. Here it is.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Right,
Kind of odd.
good.
Don't you wish you were one? You're nothing. We're going to go on now. And so,
you know that there's a two-headed person? They were young girls years ago. Now they're probably teenagers out in California. Do you know that?
No.
Yeah, there's because some of those videos that you had on bigjohnlipscomb.blogspot.com were sort of about deformities and so forth, like with a man with limbs growing from his chest. I think that the specific name of that science, I think, is called teratology. And it's just simply apparently a case of Siamese twins that, how when Siamese twins don't separate, apparently they basically there was almost no separation, and only separation happened, from the neck level up, and it's just simply a two-headed person. They're happy girls and everything. So culture will make a big deal, and the parents said, the stares are just unbelievable that they get, of course, as you'd expect. But other than that, they're just, when I last knew information about them, when they were, 6 years old or something, when I studied that way back, it was 2000 or so, just happy little girls. So it's pretty interesting how that, you wonder, John, you just wonder about some of this stuff. about all these, birth defects and whatnot. I don't know. Maybe call me ignorant, but I think a lot of it is just environmental contamination.
Or even, manipulation. The tree man and the two-headed Chinese